Memoirs of a Geisha, 2005 film directed by Rob Marshall, who also made Chicago and Mary Poppins Returns. This was based on a novel by Arthur Golden and stars Ji Zhang, Ken Watanabe, Michelle Yeoh, Koji Yakusho, and Gong Li. The movie won 3 Oscars, Best Cinematography, Best Art Direction and Costume Design, and was nominated for another 3 categories, Best Score for John Williams, Best Sound Mixing and Sound Editing. The film tells the partly fictionalized story of the life of Sayuri, who as a child was sold by her fisherman parents into a geisha school, who then initially struggles and rebels against her fate, but after meeting a kind and lovely man dubbed the chairman, she vows to finish her training, become a respectable, beautiful geisha, appreciate the life she was given, and one day reconnect with the chairman and become his lover. So, a couple of controversies regarding the film. First of all, the actual geisha whose life the book was partly based on disavowed the novel because she felt her confidence betrayed by the author, and him using the actual names of her and other characters felt like betraying the trust. Also, some of the things he wrote about were inaccurate, leading to her writing her own version of the story. Secondly, the casting was controversial because Ji Zhang and Gong Li were both Chinese women playing Japanese characters, and historically there's been a lot of tension between the two countries. For me as a viewer, they both do a convincing enough job that I didn't have a problem with that. And finally, what I would say was a bit disappointing to me was finding out that the movie was in English and not in Japanese, which of course limits the complexity of the language, as most actors are not native speakers, and you know, to be just, it sounds a little more strange in context than Japanese language would. But of course, I understand why this was done. This is a Western production, a Western director, and so on. So, and of course, American viewers hate subtitles, so it sort of probably needed to be done in English. Anyway, onto the film itself. As someone who has been interested in Japanese culture and history in the past, I like this film quite a lot. I think a lot of what it portrays is or seems very accurate and true to life. The clothes, the sets, customs shown on screen, the way people look and behave, the character dynamics, all of that felt rather real. The 2 exceptions I would note is, one, at the beginning of the film, I don't think that the little girls would be so rebellious when it comes to going to geisha school. The geisha profession was incredibly prestigious in Japan for centuries, and selling your own kids to secure a future for them was also not uncommon. So I think all of the distress was added more for the benefit of a Western viewer, because to my understanding of Japanese and in general Asian culture, this would just be something normal. And secondly, the custom of geishas selling off their virginities to the highest bidder. As far as I know, this could happen sometimes, but it certainly wasn't something that was mandatory, that was done with every single woman, whereas the movie makes it seem like an inevitable part of their lives. Otherwise though, I was pretty happy with the historical accuracy as much as I can appreciate it. I like the characterization and the story and the different life philosophies that these characters embody. Performances are good, cinematography is absolutely beautiful, and it certainly also helps that a large physical set was built with cobblestone streets and wooden buildings and so on. It all feels real and tactile. I love the score. It's something rather different from what usually John Williams is known for. And I also liked how the coming of the Second World War is a bit of a sunset moment for the geisha profession, and in a way for the old, let's say, Japanese culture, how it very much feels like a before and after situation, a Japan of old and a new Japan that is slowly going to be rebuilt from the ashes of the war, with some things inevitably left behind in the past. I do think it's perhaps 10, maybe 15 minutes too long. By the end I was a bit tired, but on the other hand, I'm not sure which parts I could remove. Maybe cut the rebellious beginnings, but other than that, I think that all of the scenes serve the movie rather well. All in all, solid film.